for week 2. I should not be wearing this hat that much. Woo, more controversy. Week 1 at Daytona, we had caution light controversy. Week 2 at Atlanta, we had caution light controversy. And at week 3, Coda, oh boy, I can't wait to see what the controversy is there. But outside of caution lights, we had more controversy. Kyle Larson threw a bad block with under 3 to go. Carson Hocevar made some people mad. So I guess we have some more areas to deflect our controversies and deflect our emotions, I guess, if you want to say it like that. But yes, the caution light has once again come into question here at the end of a NASCAR Cup Series race at a super speedway. That means we are 2 for 2 on points races this year at caution light controversy. All right, so quick recap. Just to recap 2025. End of duel number 2. Erik Jones, Austin Cindric, side by side. It's a photo fin. No, it's not. There was a wreck. 200 yards maybe. 300 maybe. That's optimistic. Maybe it was like 1,000 yards before the line, and there's a caution for a wreck, and they throw it like immediately. Like the instant a car goes around, they slap the button, and they got a caution. So they had to change the results of the race. Erik Jones was not the winner. Austin Cindric was. And so now everyone's uproared because we're so close to the flag. Why are we throwing cautions? Like, this is absurd. Sunday, the Daytona 500 on the backstretch, the opposite side of the track, only half the lap complete. Everyone's wrecking. We got 10, 15 cars involved. The leaders just wiped out. Sparks, parts flying everywhere. And NASCAR, they sit on their hands. They let it go. No caution light until they cross the line. We know who the winner truly is. Okay, cool. Last night at the Xfinity Series, the exact same thing as the Daytona 500 happens, where they start wrecking on the backstretch. There's a big old wreck. Cars getting wadded up. They throw the caution. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I misspoke because it's so much to keep up with. I got things flipped in my head. They did not call the caution last night. Almost the exact same spot that we're about to talk about. A crash happens on the back stretch, on the back straight, heading off of turn 2. Everyone starts wrecking and stuff. And NASCAR, once again, like they did in the Daytona 500, they sit on their hands and they say, race it out, boys. Let's see a good natural finish. And that's what we got. Well, NASCAR, I'll give them credit for this. They did warn us. They did warn us this morning that if it came down to this, they would throw the yellow, that they were wrong last night. You will never believe what happened at the end of this race. As I just told you, the exact same wreck happened at the exact same place, and NASCAR lived up to their word, and they threw that caution. They hit the caution button. And it does not help that the leaders were 3 wide. Yeah. NASCAR hits the caution light when they're 3 wide. And now everyone's outraged that they threw the caution for the second time in a week and a half. And people are mad last week at the Daytona 500 that they didn't call a caution. And everyone's mad. Some people are still mad about last week. Why didn't they throw the caution? Some people are mad about tonight. Why did they throw the caution? I'm just tired, okay? Look, it's a big crash on the backstretch. Realistically, should we be throwing that caution? Probably. Yeah, let's let the safety crews get out there for a giant wreck at a super speedway. Should we be letting them race to the line? Probably. We're so far away that the safety crews can probably get there. But once again, I don't know the logistics of this. I don't ever know what I'm talking about. But I'm just tired of this discussion, honestly. I don't want to talk about caution lights the rest of the year. But the fact of the matter is these super speedways always end in wrecks. They always do. It's a rare occasion when we get a clean final lap at a super speedway. We got it last year. This race, actually, Atlanta, there wasn't any wrecks in the spring race, and we got that iconic finish. We were about to get another one if Josh Berry and Denny Hamlin didn't even wreck each other off the backstretch, include about 6 other cars, but I'm genuinely just tired. It's a discussion point that's been going on for over a week now. It's a discussion point. It would so much help NASCAR if they were just consistent right off the bat. Like if they just defended themselves after the duel and said, look, if we see a wreck, we're just going to hit the caution button. There's a caution. It's a big wreck, multi-car incident. We're going to throw the caution. And then they do the same with the Daytona 500. Okay, we know what they're doing now. They do it last night in the Xfinity race. Okay, we truly know what they're doing. And when they do it today, it's not a surprise. It doesn't throw everyone off. Sure, we're disappointed we didn't get a potential 3-wide finish again or a great finish with a potential first-time winner. Sure, we might have been disappointed, but we would have said, okay, NASCAR's been consistent with us. They've been doing the same thing for the last week, all season, because the season's been a week. But the problem is they haven't been. They did that caution at the duel. They openly admitted they were wrong in throwing that caution. Then the Daytona 500, they do the opposite, and they let them run half a lap around a 2.5-mile speedway while everyone's wrecking and let them finish. Then the Xfinity race, they do the same thing. They let them go around a 1.5-mile track, more than half the lap as everyone's wrecking, and then they come out and say, actually, that was wrong. We shouldn't have done that. The exact same wreck happens today, and they throw the caution. But once again, at least they warned us. We got that going for us, I guess. Other controversies, Kyle Larson. Okay, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson's considered one of the greatest talents on the planet, right? He's a great driver. He can win at almost, emphasis on almost, every single track. Road course, short track, dirt track, intermediate. Once again, you name it. He could probably win there. His problem is super speedways. He always finds a way to wreck at the super speedways. And Atlanta, ever since Atlanta's been turned into a super speedway, I think they said he's wrecked every single time. He has never finished a race at Atlanta since it's been turned into a super speedway. Terrible results at Daytona. Terrible results at Talladega. He finds a way to wreck. It doesn't matter if he's up in first, if he's back in 13th, if he's 49th. It's not a spot, but I'm exaggerating to make a point. Well, tonight it was going to happen. Kyle Larson, just a couple of laps to go. He's leading the Atlanta race, the super speedway. All he has to do is hold off the field. It's been very easy to pass all night. Big runs happening. Oh, here comes Austin Cindric. Here comes Austin Cindric. Just make a clean block, Kyle. Ooh, you're wrecking it. Oh, that's not good. Austin Cindric had been one of the best cars for the second consecutive week at a super speedway, led a ton of laps, was up front, had an average running position at one point of like 4.2 right before he wrecked. He was having a fantastic day. Team Penske, once again, tons of speed, and their drivers fantastic at the super speedways. And Austin Cindric, once again, through no fault of his own, gets wrecked, fighting for the lead at one of these super speedways. Yeah. Larson, bad block. I really don't think we need to go much further here. I don't know what he was told over the radio. Like if he was told, hey, you're clear, go up, slide up, then in that case, okay, he's trusting his spotter. But still, you should know. And on the flip side, if he's being told car outside, then, ooh, really bad look. But things happen so quick at these super speedways. But yeah, that was a bad block by Larson. It ends up wrecking Cindric and Larson's teammate, William Byron. If Larson went on to win, you'd say, yeah, that's an ugly way to win, but at least he won. Well, he did not win. That's the ultimate irony in all of this. And speaking of why he didn't win, Carson Hocevar. So Bell and Larson side by side, nose to nose, really close. Hocevar has a run. And there's a car to his inside, and let's be honest, if that car wasn't there, Hocevar probably swings it to the bottom, and he takes it 3 wide to take the lead from both of them. But no, he's kind of pinched in a box, and he has to shove the 20 out front. That's when they start wrecking. And then Hocevar is able to maneuver. He's able to split right in between Bell and Larson. Caution comes out. Hocevar ends up finishing second, which is a really good result. But it's like what I said with Larson. If you're going to enrage people and wreck people, you better win and make it at least somewhat worth it. Same story for Hocevar. Hocevar spun out Ryan Blaney. He put Kyle Busch in the wall at one point. For some reason, Ross Chastain was talking to him post-race. I know they have a good relationship, but I don't know if he made him mad or if he was just saying, hey, man, next time do this in this specific situation. But Hocevar, oh my goodness, spun out Ryan Blaney with like 28 to go. Yeah, he's a young driver. He's an aggressive driver. He's got a lot of raw talent. Emphasis on the word raw because talent needs to be refined. It needs to be built in a sense where you're not just being over aggressive, making moves above your head and just going crazy at the end of races. Now, Hocevar, he didn't do anything absurdly egregious. He didn't wreck the entire field, but he spun a very competitive car out. He put another very competitive car on the wall very early in the race, I might add. But it's one of the things about being a young driver. You're going to learn. You're going to be in situations that you've never been in before. And if you do something wrong, you're going to get told, hey, you did this wrong. You messed up. And if it's another driver telling you this, they're probably going to add in there, hey, you really upset me. Don't do that again. And as Kyle Busch said on his radio after he got walled by Hocevar, do that again, I'll wreck you in front of the field. So, it's just lessons for a young driver. We've seen it over the years. We just saw it a few years ago with Chastain. Chastain was wrecking people. You know, we saw him wreck Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin in the same race at Gateway, and they ended up tag teaming Chastain to wreck him back. We saw Chastain get into it with Hamlin a couple of times, but since then, Chastain, he's kind of backed up, not backed off, but he's kind of known where to be aggressive and where not to be aggressive, when to make the right moves. He has further refined that talent that we've talked about. We've seen it with a lot of very talented drivers when they're early in their career. So it's a learning moment for Hocevar. That's what I'm going to put it at. I don't think it's... Sure, he may have a couple more incidents like that in the next year or two because he's young and learning, but it's not going to be a thing every single week. Once again, it's going to be a learning experience. But now let's go to the results. It's been like, I don't even know how many minutes into this video. 12, 13, I don't even know. That's what the number says up there. We haven't even talked about the winner, Christopher Bell. Do you know how many laps Christopher Bell led today, ladies and gentlemen? One whole lap. Christopher Bell picks up his first win of the season. Remember, last year, picked up quite a few, I think 3 or 4 wins. Almost made the championship 4. Remember that controversy. Speaking of controversies today. Anyways, Christopher Bell picks up his first win of the season. JGR's first win since last summer when Bell won at New Hampshire. Gibbs, winless last season. Truex, winless last season. Denny Hamlin's last win, April of last season. It's been a long time since Joe Gibbs has won a race. Now look, you don't care how they come, and I'm sure this is not how they expected it, but this is how they got it. Christopher Bell picks up his first super speedway win. Him and Larson both fighting for that first super speedway win at the end there. Christopher Bell picks up his first Atlanta win, his first super speedway win. Joe Gibbs Racing's first win in half a year, more than half a year if math adds up maybe. But point being, Joe Gibbs Racing back in victory lane. Christopher Bell back in victory lane. He's officially in the playoffs, yes. But big win for him. Needed some drama to do it in a sense, but yeah, I'm sure he's looking forward to these next 3 race weekends. We got a road course, Phoenix, where he's the defending winner of this specific race, and Vegas, another track that he's been very good at. Carson Hocevar finishes second. We already talked about him a little bit. Stirred the pot a little bit in terms of making a couple drivers mad. But at the end of the day, as I said, it's learning experiences. If he keeps doing it, he may get punched in the face for it. But hey, he finished second. He had a really good day. He was up there fighting for the win at the end of this race. He made some big moves today, both good and bad. But once again, you're going to have to learn when to make those big, aggressive moves and when not to, or else it could come back to bite you. Third place, Kyle Larson. Almost the same thing. Just, he kind of wrecked Cindric there. And as a result, he took out his teammate, which I'm sure Byron won't be happy about. I'm sure they'll have an in-house talk about that. But Larson finished in the top 3 at a super speedway. Would have never guessed it. Never would have guessed it. I don't know how he did it. Well, I know how he did it, but you get my point. Ryan Blaney, Team Penske, once again, same story as last week. Another week where they dominate, where they lead so many laps, and I'm including Josh Berry in this discussion, where they are so fast. They control the race for the majority of the race, or they put themselves in the position, but they wreck out. They get shuffled out late in the race. Something crazy happens. And here they are once again, I hate to say it, but without a trophy. And it sucks for them. It really does. But you got to think it. One of these times, it's going to go through for them, right? Like, you can't put yourself in this position this many times with all of your cars and continue to come up short. They've got 2 super speedway wins, 3 super speedway wins in the next gen era. Logano at Atlanta last year, Daytona 500 2022, Talladega Fall 2023. I could be missing some, don't get me wrong, but I mean, just with how many laps they've led, how many stages they've won, you'd think they'd have more. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 5th place. How about that? Top 5 for Ricky. Denny Hamlin, 6th place. He struggled at this new Atlanta, but hey, good result for him. He wasn't technically involved in that last lap crash. 7th place, Kyle Busch. 8th place, Ross Chastain. Bubba Wallace with the top 10. John Hunter Nemechek, back-to-back top 10s to start the season. How about that? Zane Smith, 11th. Joey Logano, 12th. As I said, led a bunch of laps in this race. Michael McDowell, 13th. Fun fact. Michael McDowell set the record tonight, or he either set the record or tied the record for most lucky dogs received. He got the free pass 6 or 7 times. He was 6 laps down at one point of this race. They had some power steering issues. They come back to finish 13th. If there's a driver of the day award in NASCAR like there is in F1, Michael McDowell would get it today for what they had to do. 14th, AJ Allmendinger. 15th, Todd Gilliland. Led some laps early in this race, and once again looked really good, as front row does, and as Todd Gilliland has the last couple of years. Had a tire go down. They end up going a lap down. They make the lap back up, but they just never fully recovered, but 15th. Austin Dillon, Riley Herbst, Ryan Preece, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott was involved in a crash. He just kind of got pinched in the wall. The 19 and the 47 made contact. 9 slaps the wall. Tolley gets broke. He collects Corey LaJoie and Brad Keselowski. Chase Briscoe, BJ McLeod. Get loud for McLeod. A top 25 for BJ McLeod. Shane Van Gisbergen will go into more depth tomorrow night on our Monday night live stream, wherever you are. He actually had a really good day. He led a couple of laps in this race. First half of the race, he was in the 30s and the 20s, but they flipped track position on a strategy call. They were in the top 15 for the majority of the last half of the race, and they got involved in that last lap crash. So unfortunate result, but he did lead 2 laps, I think, so add to the stat profile. Justin Haley, Josh Berry. Man, this has got to hurt for him. This is probably, if I had to guess, the most laps he's ever led in a single race. He led almost 50 laps, I want to say. I don't have the actual statistic in front of me. It's a guesstimate. But he led a bunch of laps in this race. He won stage 1. He won a stage today. By the way, Kyle Larson led the other stage. Would have never guessed those two as the stage winners, but here we are. Josh Berry was fantastic. They have that Penske alliance. They have that Penske speed. And they looked the part today. They, as I said, won a stage, led a bunch of laps, looked like they were going to have a shot at winning this race. Last restart doesn't go their way. They get shuffled back. They get in the last lap crash. They should have had a top 5 finish if we're going off speed, but unfortunately that's not how these super speedway races are run. Great day, but just an unfortunate result. Alex Bowman, 26. He was involved in the Daniel Suarez crash, maybe, or the Chris Buescher crash. There were a lot of crashes off turn 4 that were very identical to each other. Suarez, Elliott, Buescher. People just wash up the track. They hit the wall. They break their toe length. They get clipped, and everyone starts wrecking behind. Byron was involved in that late race wreck that we already talked about. Same with Cindric, and same story, as I said. Just, can Austin Cindric catch a break at the end of one of these things? He's led too many laps. He's won too many stages to not get a trophy. One of these times it's going to go his way, right? Right? Anyways. 29, Ty Dillon wrecked really early. Ended up making up like 7 spots because everyone else kept wrecking. Chris Buescher, Eric Jones, Ty Gibbs, Daniel Suarez, Noah Gragson, Cody Ware, Cole Custer, J.J. Yeley, Corey LaJoie, Brad Keselowski. They all wrecked. AJ Allmendinger received the bonus point for the fastest lap. Just now looked that up. But yes, another week of NASCAR, another week of controversy. Once again, we'll talk about it more tomorrow night, Monday, the Monday after we do our weekly live stream where we talk about the race. I'll go more in depth, as I said, on the SVG recap. We'll talk about Atlanta as a whole. I thought it was a pretty solid race, actually. People were able to make moves. Tires and handling made more of a difference than last week at Daytona. I thought it was a really good race, actually. Sure, there was a lot of controversy to kind of, upset everyone. But, hey, I enjoyed the actual racing. Next week, we got COTA, the Circuit of the Americas, a road course. Then we get to our first normal oval in 2 weeks at Phoenix.